Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. For most of us, we've been on lockdown for almost a month. There's some good news. It looks like we might be flattening out. It may be coming to an end and we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. But for many of us, there's still no income. There is a lot of fear. As parents and business owners, how do we share this information with our kids? Well, today, Rob Yanok joins us again. He's going to give us some tips. Stay tuned. I'm really glad you're with us today.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Welcome to another edition of Marketing Media and Cupcakes. Hi, I'm John Ondo, along with my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
And we are a service of Premier... Why are you laughing? You're less laughing.
It was This has been a service of
Premier
Prudential.
Podcast.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Premier Podcast for all your podcast production needs.
And or your bourbon needs.
Have I ever told you about, and I shouldn't say this because there's probably folks from back home who listen to this, but we used to, they still do basketball coverage back home, and we would do the big tournaments and everything else, and we'd have a sales team that would sell it.
That, yes.
And it was always at the last minute, the sales guys would go out and sell what we call signature ads, which were basically the announcers reading off a 10-second, get your hair cut at Bob's, because these are a little small town.
Sure.
But it was always inevitably the sales guys would write it, and they weren't skilled at coming up with creative. So it was always, for all your building needs and for all your home renovation needs. And then one day I remember they were reading it, Bob's Excavation for all your excavation needs. And I'm like, will somebody please talk to the sales guys and give them some kind of writing course? Because I'm tired of hearing about your
needs. Your constant needs.
Your constipation needs. So anyway.
Go down to your local bakery for all your needs.
Well, today we are joined by our good friend, Rob Yanok.
Ralph
Yanok. No.
Robbie boy, pal of mine, right? Norton!
Just felt like you were going to say Ralph. I was like, who the hell is Ralph?
I don't get that. Rob Yanok is an author. He is a speaker. He's a sales guy. He's a musician. He can do a great Sinatra.
Yes.
On top of many things.
And he's our friend.
And he's
We're just
our
going to
friend.
throw that out there.
So
I love you guys.
Well, I'm so glad you could join us on the show today. I think you've got 1 million kids. How many kids do you have?
1 million. Jesus.
I have got 5.
5.
That's
you have enough
just
for a basketball
shy
team.
of 1 million.
Yeah, Trisha couldn't keep her hands off me.
Yeah, well,
I will keep my commentary to myself.
heads around your neck maybe, but I don't know.
Sierra is 29 and married to Josh, and we're expecting our first grandson any moment
now.
Oh, my God.
It's like any moment, and probably by the time this is on, she better have had a
let's
son.
hope.
Yes.
It's not going to be good if she
Do we
has
have a
not.
name?
We don't have a name yet.
Okay, that's okay.
They are talking, but Sierra wants to look at him.
Oh,
before she
gotcha.
names him.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or that could be bad.
Yeah, well, we're just wanting him to be born healthy.
Well, maybe his name will be Seamus.
And we're getting impatient as we're recording this podcast.
Yes.
We are getting impatient. Trisha's getting
Baby
worried.
was supposed to be here last week.
Baby was supposed to be here a week ago. Trisha my wife is, out of her mind because we can't go to the hospital when she goes into the hospital.
Right.
So she left, went out the door, and I said, "Where's she going?" And she went out to pray, cry, and scream in the cars.
Oh, God love her.
Yeah, because she wants to be there with her so
Yeah.
bad. So and then we have Christian, our 25-year-old son, who's
Right.
getting married this year.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. So, and then we have Grayson, who's 19. He is a freshman at Otterbein on a lacrosse scholarship. And then we have Emily and Evan, who are twins.
Yay.
They were 16.
They're 16. Okay.
Yeah. So 5. We have 5 kids, and yes, we're a close family.
Yes, you are. It's
Very close.
It's a Hungarian thing.
It's a Hungarian thing. We know how to fight and yell and scream at each other, and then stick up for one another, but we know how to cry and be there for each other too.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
If you watch, and we'll have the links, but Rob's Instagram, you just see a lot of photos of this great family. Angel Abby is, I don't want to say how old she is. She'll probably hate me if I said she is
She is 23.
I was going to say 5, so
And
good thing I didn't
no,
say
she's
the
23.
Yanoks love her.
Yes, I did, because they work together. So she's married with Austin, and then
Correct.
we have Zach and his girlfriend, who's practically part of the family.
She is. There may not be a paper, but she belongs to
and
me.
then I have.
I'll marry them.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Then I've
Just run
got
upstairs. Hey, guys.
my soon-to-be 18-year-old, my soon-to-be 14-year-old, and my 11
Soon-to-be 12-year-old
son. So
Everybody's soon to be.
So here's the question I kind of had. We're going through a lot in the country right now. We are going to get out of it, but it dawned on me when all this stuff hit and my kids found out there's no more school for 3 weeks, and
Initially,
they didn't know what was going on. And my oldest is a senior, so she began to get upset that she's not going to have prom, she's not going to have
Right.
graduation. She's still worried about
She
that.
let me know when I came here tonight.
Yep, that's a big thing for her.
Yep.
And and it dawned on me that these kids didn't go through 9/11. My daughter was born a year after 9/11. Your kid, Sierra, probably would have been 3 or something.
She
maybe.
was young, yeah.
So for them and young people, and when I say young people, like if you're 25 and younger, you've not had a crisis like this. And it's easy for us because we sit back and I can think of 9/11. I can think of the Gulf War. I can think of different, like Reagan getting shot in the 80s.
Yeah,
and so
I was
forth.
alive then too.
I remember
yeah.
the blizzard of 76.
I
That was
do,
pretty bad.
78.
Yeah.
78.
There-
Sorry,
there
you're
was-
right. 78.
Well,
Get
there
it
was-
right,
And my
Angel.
mother yelling at my father as he shoveled snow off the garage roof.
Yeah.
And then they almost killed each other because they ran out of cigarettes. That's what I remember.
But we've been through these times of fear before. Especially, 9/11 was a big deal. The financial crisis was a big deal, but it wasn't, I guess, life threatening to me as much as 9/11. I mean, if we really think back, we were like, when we get into that plane on September 15th, is it going to crash into a building? We didn't know. We know now, but back then we were really like, what's going to
Nervous,
happen?
Yeah.
So, what with kids? What have you talked to them about? And
So that's a great question, John, and I'm honored that you'd ask me, and I want to answer it honestly because one of the things, like I have some connections in D.C. I have some connections at our state house with our governor, and I've heard some things before it was announced.
Yeah.
Okay. Trisha with her job and her position, she's heard things before it was announced, and so we would have conversations about what was coming. And so we were actually doing it in the kitchen, and Emily, our daughter, youngest daughter, would overhear us, and she goes, "What's happening?" And of course, kids are prone to fear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so she and we would say, "It's okay, Emily. It's no big deal." Blah blah blah. Just try to overhear. So one of the things that we can do to protect our kids is not shelter them from the facts.
That's good.
Or the truth, but to explain it and to communicate it in a way, even if it's of a tough thing,
So let me be
not to overreact.
Let me shoot straight at you for a second.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you've been hit with a big income thing with one of your jobs.
Yep.
Is that something you share? I've shared with my kids. I told them, hey, one of my big contract for the year for producing these TV shows, which I was locked in, thought it was solid, even with the got a thing. Hey, we can't do the show this year. We're really sorry. And I told my kids, hey, I need to let you know, I've got a big contract that's gone.
Yeah.
And it's not coming back. And I just need you to understand that because I want you to know what's going on. What, did you talk to them about what was going on with you?
we had to because, of course, they don't think at that level. You know what I mean?
Because money just comes out of the machine.
Yeah, they just think they pull the lever and we just hand it over to them. And so Trish and I, talk to them. Hey, dad's one stream of income has been affected, and so he's in a commission position, and so he can't meet face to face. He's trying to do it over the phone, and so his sales are going to be affected in a way that he's not going to have the income that he's had this past year. Okay. Until this thing goes over. So we've got to be cautious about spending.
Sure.
So no, he's not just going to throw money at you every time you ask for it because you want to go out to eat. We have one of our kids, Evan, just loves. He wants Chipotle or McDonald's every day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Trisha can cook an amazing meal.
Right.
And can I get something from McDonald's or Chipotle? You know, Dad, can I have 20? Dad, can I have 50? Okay, so we had to have a heart-to-heart. All right. One of the other things is, kids, turn off the freaking lights. Well, what's the big deal?
They're LEDs now, Dad.
But we want to be cautious because we have to pay. We get the
Yeah.
bill.
Oh my
right?
gosh, yeah.
So we had a heart to heart. I don't think they still get it, John.
No.
But we're doing it not from a spirit of fear. Not that we're freaking out
Right.
like, oh, we're going to lose everything. We're saying this is a season that we're in for the next few weeks. We don't know what's going to happen, so we're going to be cautious. Dad's not going to order from Amazon as much as he does. Mom's not going to get Starbucks as much as she does.
See the Amazon drive. I wonder if Rob died. I don't have anything for him in the mail today.
I love Amazon, And, Trisha told me, she goes, you have to quit buying books. She goes, here's what you need to do. If you're going to buy books, you have to get rid of books. So if you're going to buy 3 more books, you have to go to your shelf and get rid of 3 books.
Oh, that's mean.
That's challenging.
So I'm not buying any books right now. I'm just going to go to the library.
I'm a big fan. You're familiar with Chris Hogan?
Yes.
Oh my God. I love his voice. But if you're familiar with Chris Hogan, he's a financial advisor, and his counsel when this came out, and he's just that voice is just comforting.
Yeah.
He was like, be smart, reduce where you can. But don't fear. Don't pull your money out of the market or anything else.
Right.
But and reduce. And I mean, we've got a newlywed. I still call them newlywed. They just got their first house with Abby and Austin. Have you talked to them? Have they asked you advice? 'Cause they're the age of the millennials who don't ask anything. They just go do what they want.
They pretty much do
whatever they want.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
They've not.
But they're good kids. I mean, they work on a budget.
They
pretty
are
smart.
150 years old.
Yeah,
they're more mature than I am, for God's sake. Let's just be honest. They have savings accounts. They have a weekly budget meeting.
But you've had
That's what Sierra and Josh does too. Yeah.
It's like, what?
But you've had some great discussions with Zach and Grace, who are a lot younger than them. They're just out on their own, kind of 19, 20.
They just ask some very interesting questions because they are that is their information source is Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. Yeah. That's where they get it. So they're like, well, what is this about? Well, what does this mean? Well, what does that mean? And and so I'm constantly having to explain in more generic terms of what it really means.
Well, your presence and your communicating, how you're communicating it is the key. A lot of parents overreact.
Mm-hmm.
We have some parents that are freaking out, yelling, turn these lights off. Quit spending. No, you're not going. No, we're not
Everybody
going.
in the basement.
No, we're not doing takeout.
Yeah.
We're eating Spam.
Yeah.
I threatened my kids the other day. I said, I'm going to get Spam. I'm going to go Kroger's or Johnny and get Spam for you. What's Spam? Oh,
it's great.
You just asked
delicious.
me. They just asked the royal question, what is Spam? You have to try it. And Trisha goes, you are absolutely not buying that.
Why not? That is like a delicacy in Hawaii.
So
pull that out, slice it
slice
up,
it up,
put it in a
grill
pan
it
with some pineapple.
Well, here's the thing. So to answer your question, John, my perspective is how you communicate to your kids.
Okay.
In a calming, faith-filled, positive, hey, with all this stuff happening in our world that you know about right now, we're just going to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to spend like we normally spend until we can get through this. So we're going to have to make some sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Dad's going to make sacrifices. Mom's going to make sacrifices. And so if you communicate it that way, that's going to give them a kind of peace. But if you're like freaking out and yelling and you're like going to have a nervous breakdown because the world's coming to an end and this is God's judgment, whatever, they're going to feel that.
Well, I have to say, because it's one of my favorite all-time movies, Remember the Titans.
Oh, I love it.
And I've been talking about this. And so literally what you just said, but one of my favorite lines is attitude reflects leadership.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that I say that all the time at work when people are kooking. Well, why are they kooking? Well, the person above them is kooking. And so I have had to deliberately separate myself from the kook fest when it gets out of control
Not
because
my monkey,
I cannot.
Not my show.
Yeah.
So I have to find in that scenario, I find it. So
Yeah.
I believe everything, again, having worked in customer service, and that's not what we're talking about, but however, I believe everything is a customer service opportunity.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your children, your spouse, it's all in how you say it.
Yeah.
You can deliver. I could deliver the worst message ever and still make you feel good about it at the end if I say it in the right way.
If you say it in the right way.
It's all about how you say it.
Okay, so one of my streams of income that we were talking about, John, is I'm an advanced funeral planner for a funeral home, the largest funeral home in Central Ohio.
Yeah.
And there's a few other funeral planners. It's a 100% commission job, okay? You meet, you make presentations, you get people to pre-plan their funerals, cremation or burial, whatever, and they lock in the price and then they fund, okay?
Right.
There's funding options. Well, there's about 5 other ones that are a part of our team, and they're looking to me for leadership, and they call me, and they were on my call last night, my Facebook Live last night, and it brought peace to one of them. And he mentioned it this morning in our Zoom staff meeting that we had this morning, and so the president of our company said, "Wait a second, what happened last night?" And so I got on and I explained, okay, because we're in a season, what we're in our nation, and we have no control over this, and we're trying to do things differently now as a company, and we're adapting. Well, it's going to affect our income, and some of us are. What are we going to do? We have families, okay? And I said, what I'm trying to do is to bring peace, and so I just think it's going to be okay. It may be tough for the next few weeks, the next few months, maybe, but we're going to get through this, and we're going to rebound, and we're going to use wisdom. And I said, I'm just trying to get everybody to calm down.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do with our kids. We're just trying to be calm.
I was watching the Walinda guy a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
he did that
goodness.
tightrope
Yeah,
thing over
I
the
missed
volcano.
it, but I heard it was incredible.
I got sucked in on it. I wasn't going to watch it. I remember watching the Walinda movie 100 years ago with Lloyd, or I can't remember his name, with the actors.
Lloyd Bridges?
Lloyd Bridges.
Yeah.
And so I knew a little bit about the history. He's doing this whole thing across the volcano.
Yeah.
And he had a safety strap on, but I'm like, I'm not going to feel good if he still falls
Right.
on the strap even. But I was watching him. It's like you could tell he's focused on, a step at a time, but yet at the same time, in his head, I'm going to this other side. And I think, to me, to put this in my own terms, which are not nearly as stoic, I'm focused on the party that we're all going to have sometime in June, sometime in July, when I do believe the stock market will get back up to where it was.
Yeah.
And the coronavirus will be through, and hopefully it will be a minimal, and we are going to sit back and go, we got through this. What an amazing thing. Just like we got through 9/11, there were some difficult times, and we celebrate, the fact we made it through that. And, I don't think we even realize now how much that added to us from a standpoint that look at these things that we've gone through together. But it's very easy. There's people who just look at that, I'm sure if he would just look down and see the lava below him, he would fall, because you're like, I can't focus on what's below me. I have to focus what's in front of me and get through that, and then the party.
Right.
So I guess the thing I've been trying to tell my kids is we're going to get through this, not scare them, but it's like this. But I had to remind myself, and it was one of those moments where I realized I'm an old guy now, because I realized that's right. You kids don't know 9/11. You didn't know anything about the stock market crash, and I could see they're like, Dad, what happens with the school? Dad, what happens with this? And I'm like, oh my gosh. These are the questions we all asked when, we didn't ask this when the Challenger blew up, but we had those questions. What happens next? Or the back when we still had the USSR, and it was like they're going to launch a missile. I remember, most of my childhood thinking Brezhnev is launching a missile and is going to kill us all tomorrow.
Yep.
And
But you know what? At that time, I remember, because I was in 7th grade, and I remember my 7th grade history teacher brought peace to us, because that's all we would hear. The Cold War, USSR is going to launch a nuclear missile. And when his name was Mr. Gojkovic.
Nice.
What a name.
Yes. And when Mr. Gojkovic stood one day and he said, we're not going to talk about our lesson plan today. I want to talk to you about something else. And he talked about how awesome our nation was. And he talked about President Reagan, and he talked about our military, and he talked about how, You don't have to fear that our leadership would not let that happen, and we have a way of combating that, and blah blah blah. That's not going to happen. They're going to come to an agreement. There's going to be peace.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, I didn't think about it ever again.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what was on the news. I remember in 7th grade, I had no more fear that we were going to get bombed by the USSR.
Yeah.
Because he communicated to us facts
Mm-hmm.
that I never heard as a 7th grader or 6th grader.
And he had experience,
Yes.
and that's the thing. I've had fun I've enjoyed being the old guy when my daughter has said da-da-da-da-da, and I'm going, yeah, this is old stuff. It happened 20 years ago. It's not a big deal. Move on.
Yeah.
Literally, and you could just tell her look in her face is like, does anything bother Dad? And the answer is no.
No.
I haven't seen everything, but when you get up in the 50s now, you begin to realize there is a cycle to all this mess. And my mom is 93, bless her heart, sitting back and saying,
That's
hey, I'm
awesome.
getting food delivered to my house. So she's like, this is still 1,000,000 times better than what she had in the 30s when
Right.
she was going outside to the outhouse and didn't have toilet paper to rush the Target for. So,
Sure.
So I think it is a matter of perspective. One of the things I did encourage people, and if you're listening now, somebody who's in their 80s or 90s, and you can just, you probably can if you're still in a corona situation when you're listening to this, but go talk to them and ask them. And I remember at 9/11, I asked my dad, I said, is this what Pearl Harbor was like? And we were talking about it. And go ask somebody back in the days of the Depression and say, what was it like? They're hard to talk to sometimes. They don't like talking about things.
Right.
But, I think you're going to find out really quickly. They're going to say, you kidding me? You've got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You've got TV. What are you complaining about? You got toilet paper that's got
Right.
three layered sheets in it.
We're being asked to lay in front of the TV and watch movies, and we're going to save the world by doing that.
Yeah.
You know what? And Trish and I have definitely overreacted at times in front of our kids about circumstances that we were in, and we've learned,
You're human.
and then we have to explain to them, it's going to be okay. We overreacted, but we found out when we communicate tense, difficult circumstances that we go through as a family, the way we, and you know what, usually in a marriage, one's more negative and one's more positive,
Yep.
right?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he calls me Negative Nancy all the time.
Okay.
I'm a little
I do?
offended by that.
Yeah, and I
called
say
you
the
negative.
You
same.
have called me negative. I'll find the tape and roll it back.
And you know what? And our kids know that.
Yeah.
You know what? But when they see, oh, Dad's not freaking out.
Yeah.
John's not freaking out.
My kids still talk about how I freak out about
Yeah.
stuff that happened 10 years ago.
And that's,
remember when Mom freaked out? Shut up.
yeah. Well, and they're like, okay, but way you communicate it. So, John, if we can get parents to communicate this difficult season of what they're going through with their kids in a positive way, they're not ignoring it. We're not saying, well, if I don't think about it, it's not going to happen. No. Yeah, kids, we're in a tough season right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what our dad's paycheck's going to look like. He's a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
He's not allowed to go out and speak in churches. He's not allowed to go speak in businesses right now, even though that's his thing. He can't do it. He can't do sales in front of people anymore right now. We don't know what his income is going to be. But you know what? It's going to be okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because of our faith, Angel, John, because of our faith, we say, you know what? David said, I've been young and now I'm old. I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. Am I righteous? Is Trish righteous? No, but Jesus is righteous. And that's where our righteousness comes from anyway, not our works, because none of us are good. But here's the thing. We're going to be taken care of. We're going to be provided for. Somehow it's going to work out. We've seen it happen before at times. Is there miracles? Yeah, I believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain them, but will we get taken care of? Yeah. Will you go hungry? No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you suffer? Yeah.
It depends on your term of suffering.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, if they think if the internet goes down, the world is coming to an end. You know what? It may be good for the internet to go down for a couple days.
No. I say that only from work. It can go down on
Right.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
Right.
there's days
Not
I wish
when
I
I'm
could do
working.
that.
Right. That, and I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Not when I'm
Well,
working.
Rob, this is great. Thanks for sharing with us how you're
My
dealing
pleasure,
with it.
John.
You have books, you have websites, you have all kinds of great inspiration. Tell us where people can get.
You know what? They can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Rob Yanok, Yanok. They can email me at rob@robyanok.com. My website is robyanok.com.
Beautiful.
So it's very easy to connect with me.
And if you want to connect with us, it's John at ondomedia.com. And and I have also a podcast company, which I refer to myself as the podcast evangelist, because I think everybody should have a podcast for the most part. A couple people shouldn't. They know who they are.
Right.
I've talked to them. They should not have a podcast. But the rest of you should have a podcast. So the podcastevangelist.com. And if you're in the Central Ohio area when we're allowed to do cupcakes again, it's angelscustomcupcakes.com. And if you want to, please let us know what you enjoy about the show and how we can help you. We've been a little off topic because of business, but I think family and business go together. If you're a mafia member, this is all ties together because mafia and business all goes together.
All together,
with your family,
absolutely.
you know, why have you not come to me more, Rob? We do a Godfather other episode. So wherever you are right now, we're coming out of this. It's going to be great. So thanks for listening. We want to be an encouragement to small business. So wherever you are right now, just continue to live the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram and let us know your thoughts. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.